Hello, 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 you all. I'm live. I just came from the gym. Excuse my hair. Excuse my appearance. And I also just came from Lowe's, right? I just came from Lowe's. And if you can see the 1111 is on my neck. And this young man, oh, you all come in and hit the like and share button. Share this video. Make sure you are a subscriber. Subscribe to me on YouTube, Queen 11. E11EVEN. And let's do this real quick. So I went to Lowe's as well after. Um, Let me pull up this scripture. After I left the gym, and this young man that was helping me, he had Rudyard Kipling's, right? Rudyard, I mean, he, when I say young man, I know he was under the age of 25, right? Under the age of 25. So he had Rudyard Kipling tattooed on his arm, right? So I asked him, I said, why do you have Rudyard Kipling? You all give me a sound check. Let me know how the sound is. I said, why do you have Rudyard Kipling tattooed on your arm? Let me pull up that poem. And he said, well, first of all, I'm surprised that you know the author of this poem. And secondly, he said, um, the poem is If, right? If Rudyard. And secondly, he said, thank you, Nick. I was just thinking about you this morning. I'm like, I got to get Nick. Come out here, check my cameras, Nick. Now, come on, Nick. Don't leave me hanging. But okay, so he had If tattooed on his arm. And I was like, he said, well, most people have Bible scriptures and things like that. And he said, I wanted something different. I said, that is different and that is very, very unique as well, right? I said that's different and it's very unique as well. So let me read to you all what he had tattooed. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. That's what he had. That's what he had on this. Let me say that again. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust when men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can meet, this is another expert insert from that. If you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you spoke and twisted or knaves to make a trap by fools, or watch the things you give in your life to broken and stoop and build them with worn out tools. Ooh, I love poetry. I absolutely love poetry. I love the meaning of. Thank you, Nick. Nick said he got me. And so the reason, okay, this is why we going here. Like, just stay with me, roll with me. So then he had the numbers 444 tattooed on his arm as well. And I asked, I said, well, what does 444 mean to you? Why is 444 tattooed on your arm? And he said, those are my angel numbers. Those are my spiritual numbers. Those are the numbers that I see. And I went on to say, I said, well, do you know what 444 means? What the number four represent? He said, no. I said, well, four represents things in the earth realm, right? Things in the earth realm. The number four, right? Directions, the four winds, the four corners of the world. News is where we get north, east, west, and south. Four directions. Whenever you sing or you see the number four, it's probably a representation of an earthly symbol or something in the earth realm, right? I told him, I said, by the fourth day, four things were created: light, liquid, land, and life vegetarian. Seed was able to be converted or planted for life for mankind to be able to eat from and grow into agriculture. And I said, those four things: life, vegetarian, seed, light, liquid, and land were created all by the fourth day. So it's representation of the earth realm. So he said, thank you. And so then he asked me, he said, well, what does the 1111, if you all can see? He asked me, what does the 1111 on necklace that you wear on your neck mean? And I said, well, it's a dual thing. It means a wealth transfer, right? And destruction at the same time. I said, as in 9/11, right? As in 9/11. In 9/11, or during 9/11, the Twin Towers, the dual, um, were destructed, right? Destroyed, however you want to say it. And then buried underneath the rubble of the Twin Towers were, excuse me, millions and millions of dollars of silver, physical silver and gold, which is money. Most people don't know that. Dave Ramsey teaches that gold is a commodity, but it's money. It's God's money, right? And meaning man cannot create it. They can fake it, but they can't create it. And it was used with money before cash came into play to be used in money. And so when I got in my vehicle, I started to think about 1111. It is chaos, it is confusion, but it also represents a wealth transfer. It's an awakening. Um, John 1 and 11, John 1 and 10 states that Lazarus is asleep. And let me pull up. I'm pulling up. I'm not trying to look down. Lazarus is asleep, but I am here to wake him up. I'm here to wake him up. And so it is an awakening number. You should get some enlightenment. And wait a minute. No, that's John 1:10. Give me a second. He was in the world, and the world made through him. Give me Lazarus is here. Lazarus is asleep. So Genesis, not Genesis, but Deuteronomy 1 and 11 as well. Deuteronomy 1:11 talks about prosperity. May the Lord thy God, the God of our ancestors, bless you um, and increase you 1,000 times more. So blessing does not always mean an increase, right? Uh, hmm. Okay, I got to find the Lazarus scripture because John 1:11 says he came to his own and his own people did not receive him. This is another poetic verse that summarized Jesus' ministry and his mission on earth. So when you see in 11:11, it's an awakening, and it's also is a revelation of your ministry, right? And mission on this earth is also a representation of chaos and destruction, right? Is also a representation of a wealth transfer. So let me get into Genesis 11 as I'm looking for the correct Lazarus script because I know uh, this is why I hit the go live button, but I gotta find it Lazarus. Oh, John 11:11. Okay, I found it. John 11:11. Our friend Lazarus is asleep, and I am going to wake him up. So when you see 11:11, it's eye opening. So let's break down Genesis 11. I'm thinking about Genesis 11. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. We're gonna read it. So now the world had one language. This is starting out Genesis 11, verse 1. Now the world had one language and a common speech. I want you all, if your hands are free, to put this in the comments section, whether you are watching this live on the replay, make a mind message connection, right? Genesis 11:1. Now the world had one language, right? One. I want you to put the number one and then put communication, right? Communication. Communication. I'm gonna break down how Genesis 11:11 reveals to you the 4:11s and what they mean. So one thing, communication. As the people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. And they said to each other, come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They used brick instead of stone. and tar for mortar. Then they said, come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves. Okay, the second thing they had was imagination, right? They had imagination. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth. The next thing they had, unification. They had communication, imagination, unification, right? And but the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language, here we have unification and communication again, right? Unification, communication again. Speaking the same language, they have begun to do this. Then nothing they plan, imagination, right? Nothing that they plan to do. This is a whole nother point right here. A lot of people want prosperity without a plan. Doesn't happen that way. Like you can stumble up on some money every now and then. Every now and then you can have some financial success. But for long-term and financial success and financial freedom, you need a plan. So nothing they plan to do will be impossible. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other. So the Lord scattered them from there over the earth and they stopped building the city. And this is why it's called Babel. So let's go over this again. They had communication. Who are you communicating with? If you hang around 9 broke people, you're going to be the 10th one. I promise you. Because you're going to have their language, you're going to have their mindset, and you're going to do the things that they do. You're going to have their habits, right? If you hang around 9 broke people, you will be the 10th because Proverbs 21:5 says, the plan of the diligent leads surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty when it comes to poverty, it also says that you will live from the fruit of your lips, meaning that whatever you speak, whatever you say, whatever you do will come to pass. And so they had communication and then they had unification. The people said, whatever we plan to do, whatever we're going to unify, we're going to make this plan and we're going to be unified in it. Who are you connected to that's keeping you on focus of your plan for financial freedom? See, the reason why I talk or teach from the Bible about financial success principles because the Bible talks more about the success or it gives you example of more rich and wealthy people than broke people. It really does. Someone asked me why don't more churches produce people that acquire financial freedom and have higher credit scores than the Jewish church? Well, Jewish religion, Jewish people teach each other, right, to have a wealth mentality. And some churches, and most churches, unfortunately, they they teach people the Bible so they can hear the Bible and not do the Bible. Let me sip on that again. Hello, Lavana. I'm glad you caught my live too, Brina. Most churches teach people the Bible so they can hear the Bible and not do the Bible. When Joshua says 1:1, if you meditate on my word day and night, think, and do it, not just think it, but do it, you'll have good success. You have to be like Nike when it comes to the Bible. You have to just do it. So many rich and wealthy people in the Bible. Abraham, Lot was so rich and wealthy they split their land, right? Um, Queen Esther, Queen of Sheba, the millionaire Melchizedek, the mystical millionaire, Nazareth, right? Um, King Solomon, the Apostle Paul, and his tent business, and Peter had a fishing business. So many examples. It's over 2,000 scriptures in the Bible that's talking about money and business. That's more than faith and prayer alone. And so my passion and my purpose is to teach people those principles from a biblical perspective, because you're going to need money to carry out your mission and your ministry on earth. As we looked at John, what's that, John 1 and 10? You're going to need money, right, to help you finance your mission and ministry on earth. You're going to need it. It's just a fact. And so they had imagination, they had communication, Genesis 11. They had unification. Did I say that already? And imagination, unification. You all help me out with this, because this is communication. I could add dedication. Well, thank you for those balloons. Thank you so much. I could add dedication. They had dedication. It was not, because even the Lord came down and said, nothing that these people plan to do. So I have to disrupt them. Nothing that they plan to do is going, if they plan it with the unification, imagination, creation, communication, it's going to, dedication, it is going to get done. Right. And so you all, most people do not want to improve their financial lives because they don't have the dedication. Right? They can't teach you to do something that they're not willing to do. And for me, when I started reading the Bible and I started seeing there was more rich and wealthy people, even Job lost everything he had and God blessed him back, both material and spiritual, with double. I was like, all of Jesus' disciples, Luke was a physician. That's a high income earning job, occupation. Luke was a physician. Apostle Paul was a tent maker, had a business, right? Matthew was a tax collector, and Jesus hung out with Matthew and his friends and tax collectors. Jesus learned how to maneuver in this earth realm through taxes. Like, did you all know, for example, that if you work a job, that's the highest tax bracket you can earn money in? So you take your job income and you add a home-based business so that your paycheck is not taxed as high, because now you make yourself an employee and an entrepreneur at the same time. And that one move has helped hundreds of people that I mentored earn at minimum $500 or more out of their paycheck, out of the same hours, the same pay scale. All they did was added a strategy. A strategy. When Jesus asked to use Peter's boat, Peter told Jesus, he said, I'm in the red. I'm suffering with my boating business, my fishing business. And Jesus said, well, look, I need a platform. I need a platform to preach on, right? He said, I need a platform to preach. And Peter said, okay, I'll give you this platform. I'll give you my boat. And as a result of taking action and networking with the right person, who was Jesus, and Jesus and Peter became business partners, then Jesus told him, now I want you to go take this net, get your friends and network and cast your net on the other side. And Peter said, well, Lord, I've been toiling all night. I've been fishing all night. He said, just do it at my word. And Peter did it. And then he became business and cash flow positive. One move, one strategy. I tell people this all the time. Everything in life is a strategy. If you all know me, you know I used to coach basketball, right? I live off of that. Even when I got diagnosed with cancer last year in January, on Friday the 13th, the first thing I did after I had to put my fear aside from hearing you have or may have cancer, right? Because nobody wants to hear those three words. Was when I got to my mind settled, I asked God, okay, God, what's the strategy to be? I didn't listen to other people's strategy. I didn't listen to people tell me to drink alkaline water. There's nothing wrong with that. But off topic, on topic, alkaline water does not make your body more alkaline, but a body that is highly alkaline does makes you more healthier. But drinking alkaline water will not do that. Not even spring water, right? But anyway, and God gave me the strategy for cancer. Whenever I come against, I say, okay, God, what's the strategy? What's the strategy? My credit score is high. My credit score is low. What's the strategy? So Genesis 11, they had communication. They had imagination. They had dedication. They had unification. And that's what it's going to take for you. If you understand the Bible, the Bible is a book about banking. Again, over 2,000 scriptures. No one should read the Bible or hear the Bible being read to them and have a poverty mindset. How can you hear about King Solomon and Queen of Sheba and Jacob and Abraham? The Bible says Abraham was very rich in livestock and land and cattle and gold and silver. How can you read about these rich and wealthy people? And the Bible says, I'll make you rich and add no sorrow. And you don't have a desire. And Deuteronomy 28 says, I give you the power to get wealth. And you don't have a mindset to want to change your money so you can finance your ministry and mission in life and make memories. Make more memories where you can go on vacations and not have to worry about how you're going to pay that credit card bill when you come back. Right? So people, that's 11:11. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. You all hit the like and share button. Hello to you, Black Mac 1978, and Rodney as well. Go to millionmoves.com. Take the first step in increasing your cash flow. Right? If you have a job, have a paycheck, and you want to get experts to help you to see if you're losing hundreds, $500 every pay period, then go to millionmoves.com. And also go there and start stacking your silver, because gold and silver, right, will be used to reset this currency system. My next live stream, we'll talk about crypto, what Trump has to do with this crypto movement. He will. I go on record and say this. He will become president, no matter what has recently happened with the 34 indictments, right? Because he has to usher in this new digital financial system, right? That's just what's going to happen. They put people in place that's going to execute what they want. And when I say they, I mean the powers that be, right? So like them, love them, hate them. You better understand. I'm not even getting into a debate about that. Like them, love them, hate them. But you better understand that we are entering to the greatest wealth transfer. And for a lot of people, if you increase your cash flow and you increase your credit score, you will have the money to invest in crypto. And it won't be a struggle for you to invest. You can invest in it comfortably, right? I'm logging off again. Make sure you all subscribe to Queen 11E11EVEN and go to millionmoves.com. Love you all. Queen out. Oh, thank you, Rock City Marvin said, Queen, thank you for everything. Thank you. Imagination, unification, dedication, communication. Genesis 11. Queen out.